Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well, and I'm sorry I haven't been around. This is a bit weird to sit down and film. I don't even know how long it has been since I sat down and recorded a video. Where have I been? Well, I have been trying to film a couple of projects, and I think they took a lot of my attention, they took a lot of my focus, but they weren't things that I could just film and upload straight away. They were like reading vlogs, reading books from the same authors, etc, etc. So they took a little bit longer to record than I imagined. I kind of lost the way a little bit with them. I've also been kind of like psyching myself up to come and sit down and film this video right now, and I hate doing or going anywhere with wet hair, and I was like, do you know what, sod it, just film the video even though your hair isn't completely dried yet. I don't dry my hair with a hairdryer, I let it air dry, and I'm sorry if that annoys anybody, but I just have to sit down and film this and just get over this hurdle of coming back to YouTube. So I wasn't quite sure what to do. My friend Daisy May has bullied me into coming back, and she hasn't really. I've been wanting to come back for a while, but I feel like it's a bit of a difficult thing when you've been away for so long, then knowing what to do when you come back. So I thought I would just do a general sort of chit chat about what I've been reading recently, what I plan on reading next, or what I've just picked up, and talking a little bit about some of my reading habits. So first and foremost, let's pull up Goodreads on my phone, because I don't really know what's going on, but I have fallen out of love with reading, and I've come back to YouTube, because I'm trying to get my reading mojo back, and I feel like it's coming back. But I kind of feel like it helps me get an enthusiasm. It helps motivate me to read when I'm doing YouTube videos and talking about books, and that's what I'm really passionate about. So as I'm filming this, it's Mother's Day. It's the 19th. Is it 19th of March today? It is the 19th of March. I've read 12 books, which for me is not an awful lot. Obviously, 12 books is amazing, and I'm really, really grateful that I have finished 12 books. But I think of those 12, there's maybe like one or two like really high up there. Like there's a couple of ones that I'm like, I'm really glad I read that. But the majority of them are just kind of a little bit, nah. I don't know how else to describe it. And I don't know. I don't think I've had a reading year for a long time that it's at this point in the year and I'm only 12 books in. But like I say, I'm not kind of dwelling on that too much. I'm just going to keep going. I feel like I've got my reading mojo slowly creeping back, and I'm just going to go with it. I think one of the issues is that I think I might have spoken about this in a previous video, but you might have completely forgotten about that. I joined 2 local book clubs, not 1 but 2. I don't really know what possessed me to do it. I thought it'd be a great idea. I thought I'd meet all these amazing new people and that I would love it. And basically, cut a long story short, I've really not enjoyed one of them in particular because I just haven't been enjoying the books. And the other one I've been really, really enjoying. I've enjoyed the people, I've enjoyed the books we've been reading. So the one that I've not been enjoying so much, the books are just not what I would choose. They're a chore. This is the current one. This book will Save Your Life by A.M. Holmes. This is about a guy that trades stocks and shares in LA, and he has an instance where he kind of has an attack and doesn't quite know what's happening. He has this excruciating pain, and I am currently, as you can see, I'm using my I don't know why I'm not using it properly, probably because I stopped reading thinking I would pick it back up again that same day. I'm using my bookmark from the Crafty J's, my magnetic bookmark, which is personalised. I didn't put it on the page because I obviously thought I was going to potentially pick it up again. I haven't even got to page 100. I got to page 94. And this probably took me the best part of a week to get to page 94 of. It's really weird. There's no chapters. I'm not connecting to the character. I'm kind of a little bit like, yeah, what's the point? I'm just not feeling it. And I'm feeling that with like every book I've read recently for this specific book club. So I made the decision to put it down. I contacted the ladies in the book club and said, look, I haven't finished it in time. I'd already said to them that I was struggling to get the books finished in time because I've got so much going on in my life at the moment. I'm getting married in a few months' time. There's a lot going on personally, privately, work-wise, life-wise, and I said I just can't commit to being able to read all of the books at the moment, which is true. And I just said, look, I'm sorry, I haven't finished this book. Count me out this month. Let me know what the next book is, and if I can pick it up, I will. I put this down, like I say, it probably took me best part of a week or two to get to page 94, which is not like me, which then means when I have those moments that I could potentially sit and read, I'm not drawn to pick my book up. So I then just end up reading, well, scrolling through my phone or watching an episode of something on Netflix instead, which is fine. But I want to kind of get back into this habit of reading again because I really miss it and I miss having that escape. So I was really, really, really hyped to pick this up. I got this, it was everywhere in the works. I was seeing it online in the works for £5, seeing it everywhere. It wasn't coming into my works quick enough. And then I saw it on Amazon for £5 and I was like, well, I'll just order it on Amazon because I can't get it at the works for that cheap because it's not here locally to me. I've really enjoyed everything that I've read by Tessa Bailey. I have read It Happened One Summer and Hook, Line and Sinker, and I just really enjoyed both of those. And I was just really hyped for this. I didn't really know anything of what it was about, but I made the conscious decision to put this book down, to pick this book up, and I have read it so quickly. I really enjoyed it. I wouldn't say it was like the best book ever, or the best written book ever, but it was a tonic for my soul. I needed it. It was just the right medicine for me. This is about Hallie and Julian. They know each other from, well, Hallie's had a crush on Julian for a long, long time since they were at school. Fast forward 15 years later, Julian comes back to town. Hallie is a landscape gardener and Julian is a professor who's taking some time out, I think over a break, like a summer break or something, or maybe a spring break, to write a book. And they kind of meet, and it was just everything that I needed in a book, and it was just, I couldn't put it down. I just kept reading and reading and reading. And this was exactly what I needed tonic wise for my reading mojo, for my reading motivation. So yeah, I really enjoyed this. I finished this last night. I stayed up late to finish it. Like, I can't remember the last time I stayed up late to finish a book because I just haven't been excited about anything enough to stay up late to finish it, which I think I really need this year to really tune into reading the books that I want to read. I really wanted to read this. If I'm hyped to read something, pick it up and blooming well read it. Like, life is too short. I did kind of also think that maybe I was in a little bit of a slump because one of the last books that I finished was A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara, which was just such a monster of a book. I think calling it A Little Life is I know why it's called A Little Life and everything, and it has bigger meaning, but it's such a juxtaposition to the size of this book. It's huge. I also downloaded it on audio so that when I was on a long car journey or when I was pottering around the house, I could listen to it, and then I could sit down and follow along when I had moments that I could do that. I have to admit, I probably sat and read it mostly in 2 big sittings. I babysat for my sister-in-law, and I was there during the day when all the kids were at school one day for her recently. So I read a chunk of it, probably like this chunk here, in like best part of a day. And then I finished it over a weekend or something like that. So it was majorly read over like kind of 2 big sittings, if that makes sense. This was amazing. I have since recommended it to a colleague of mine, and she's currently reading it, and she's like, it's just starting to get good, because it does take a little bit of time to kind of, everything's starting to sink in. But I kind of put down some of my slumpy and kind of like not kind of having a lack of desire to pick up a book to this as well, because this was really heavy, real difficult subject matter. If you are potentially intrigued in reading this book, it is really tough, and I would definitely recommend checking the trigger warnings before. It's about 4 graduates in New York City, and it's about their lives. It's about what they've been through. It's about what they go through, and it follows them from, like I say, graduates right through until their 40s and 50s. And it was moving. It was so harrowing. It was also a book club book, but it was the book club that I have been enjoying the books of more. And we all had such interesting experiences reading this. Everyone had different ideas, and everyone had different points to raise, which was really good, and we had a really good discussion about it, and I'm really glad that I read this. But like I say, I can't help but think that maybe this kind of impacted my reading mood and my slump a little bit, and maybe attributed some of it to that. So like I say, I finished this last night. So the next book that I am picking up is Still Life by Sarah Winman. Again, I have put my Crafty J's magnetic bookmark in here. I've got like a purpley pinky one. Again, it's personalized. Excuse the state of my nails, but I'm between acrylics and I'm letting them breathe. I'm letting them breathe. I've read about 14 pages of this so far. I've not read much at all. This is actually another book club pick, but this is the book club that I've been enjoying the books for. So I'm hoping that I'm going to like this. This is 1944 Italy. As bombs fall around them, two strangers meet in the ruined wine cellar of a Tuscan villa and share an extraordinary evening. Ulysses Temper is a young British soldier. Evelyn Skinner, a 64-year-old art historian living life on her own terms. She has come to salvage paintings from the wreckage of war and relive memories of her youth when her heart was stolen by an Italian maid in a particular room with a view. Ulysses' chance encounter with Evelyn will transform his life and all those who love him back home in London forever. Big-hearted, sweeping and full of unforgettable characters, Still Life is a novel about beauty, love, the families we forge and the friendships that make us. This just sounds so up my street. I love historical, I love Italy, I love birds, and I'm just really looking forward to this one, and I'm already enjoying it, and I'm only 14 pages in. So like I say, I'm listening to my head more. I need to read what I want to read. So maybe in the next video I'll do a bit of a kind of list of some of my most anticipated, sort of like my books that I'm really excited about reading, that I can imagine reading next over the next few months. Like I say, it's a busy few months. Not only am I getting married in July, but then a month after I'm getting married, my friend is getting married and I'm a bridesmaid, and it's just, life is very hectic. Life is very, very hectic, but anyway, hey ho. So I'm looking forward to reading this, and like I say, yeah, maybe I should do a video kind of about some of my next up books, the books that are kind of like top high on my TBR. So yeah, let's in the comments down below leave me a tip or a trick for kind of getting your reading mojo back. What do you always do when you're kind of losing your way a little bit with reading and books? Like I say, my tip is I'm going to be reading what I want to read and what I'm excited to read. I also want to try and get back into the habit of reading. I think it's really easy when you haven't been reading and it hasn't been kind of entrenched in your routine for a little while. It can be then difficult to implement that back into your routine. So if you've got any tips of when you read, when you don't read. I've even been struggling to read in my lunch hour. I think because work has been so busy as well, that on my lunch hour I'm choosing to just kind of switch off my brain in a different way, and obviously reading's a little bit more taxing on my brain. But I've decided that I've just got to do something that I love regardless, rather than just aimlessly scrolling on my phone. So if that is catching up on an old TV series that I've watched before and loved and want to rewatch, then that's fine. But also need to get back into my reading again. I'm also very aware of how awful my bookshelves look behind me, and I think that's also part of it as well. I'm not spending a lot of time in this room, which is like my reading sanctuary. It's like my library, my little reading space. And I think because it looks so much disarray going on behind me, I feel like maybe that's another video that I can do as well, sorting through my bookshelves, because some of it did get organised when I first had all this set up, and then some of it was just kind of put in places because there was space there, and it's not been, it's never, I mean, this has been up for over a year now, and this has never fully been kind of like organized properly. So maybe that is kind of the next step as well, is kind of making my space nice and tidy and how I want it to be. I think even that, organizing my bookshelves, will get me super motivated to read as well. So fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Anyway, I'm going to head out now because it is Mother's Day and I am going to see my mum and see my brother and his wife and my nephew and hopefully my dad. My dad's been a little bit under the weather. Hopefully my dad will be there as well. And I think my brother's in-laws are going to be there too, which I haven't seen them in a little while, so that will be lovely. And yeah, I'm gonna hopefully get some time this afternoon, sit down and read some of Still Life. So I hope you enjoyed. Like I said, leave down below in the comments your tips and tricks, what you do to get yourself out of a reading slump or to get your reading mojo back, even if it's going out and buying a new book just for the sake of it, because that makes you feel good and then that gets you excited to read. Whatever your tips are, leave them down below. And if anyone else is feeling the same way as me at the moment and falling a little bit out of love with reading, please write down below in the comments or message me on Instagram, Sophiebeebooks, because we can maybe be, maybe we can help each other. Maybe we can talk about our reading struggles together and that will help motivate us. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm so glad to be back and I hope you're glad to see me back. I hope. And I'll see you all in the next one.